Bet. Top of the new year. I say Trek again. I'm here with y'all. New year, new me. But I think it's important that we talk today. I just wanted to let y'all know I'm up and at it for this year. I will be delivering and giving some of the best quality content out 2024, 2023. I was very quiet. I was very observant. But this year, I just want to give you guys as much information, provide service, product to you guys that I have available. And I think 2023 was a lot of me having to reflect on my ego. One of the things that I did a lot was read. I did a lot of reading in 2023. I had a lot of adversity come my way, but the reading helped me to navigate through it, right? And I think it's one part. I was reading this book, Malcolm X. You know, Malcolm X is a pioneer to me, obviously. And there's a part where him and West Indian Archie get into it because West Indian Archie think he beat him for some bread and then doing numbers because Malcolm X ran the numbers. And so West Indian Archie threatens Malcolm, saying like, yo, listen, if you don't pay me my money by a certain time, it's just gonna be your life, basically. And so Malcolm don't pay him. You know, he gets extremely inebriated that night prior to him having to owe or to deliver the money the next day to West Indian Archie, right? And so eventually he bumps into him at the bar. And so West Indian Archie still feeling himself, his ego. Malcolm still, you know, into his ego, ready for whatever comes his way. From West Indian Archie, he's still talking greasy. You know, they let it be known that there was tension in the room. And so Malcolm eventually, he steps outside the bar, right? He steps outside the bar and waits for him. And long and behold, Malcolm waits a substantial amount of time waiting as the time is ticking. And West Indian Archie never comes out the bar. So Malcolm peeks his head back into the bar, right? And when he peeks his head back into a bar, he fully walks in. He realizes that West Indian Archie isn't there. So he begins seeking around the room, scanning the room with his gun, with his hand in his pocket, because he had a gun ready to eliminate West Indian Archie, right? And so with that being said, I felt like the ego, one of the key components of that was the ego. So I feel like, and with that circumstance with West Indian Archie and Malcolm, we come to realize that had that situation escalated and West Indian Archie wouldn't have left and Malcolm would have then ran into him, it could have become fatal, right? And then there would not be any Malcolm X, right? So I say that to say that sometimes our ego can get in our way from us making smart or decisions that can actually help us or get us away from harmful things, right? And so one of the things that I think that, you know, most of us struggle with is the ego, and you know, how to ask for help or how to sometimes de-escalate things in a better manner to come to a solution that makes more sense for not only other people but ourselves, right? And so that's something that I thought 2023 was definitely educating me on, stepping out of the way of your ego and just being able to let your guard down in order to get things done that you would like to do. Sometimes our ego stops us from doing the things that we would love to do, which we are best and the most effective at, right? Can't you relate to that? Plenty of times your ego probably got in your way, hindered you from something that you would really and truly love to do, but you questioned yourself, or it might have been an incident where you had to exchange with somebody who just couldn't understand you, and it led to other things that you didn't want. So beyond anything, I think the ego needs to be checked, right? And it needs to be recalibrated at times. Not to say you don't need it, because we all do need the ego to survive, but it's how you utilize it for the circumstances that you are enduring and how you can make it work for you. So long and behold, from that great story, I just want to tell you guys, I'm here to not let my ego get in the way from what I want to provide you guys, right? Especially with real estate, I got a lot of things that I would like to do with you guys, whether it's the buying process, listing process. If you guys looking for rentals, definitely contact me, your guy Hase Trek, aka formerly Stephen Davis, for your real estate needs this 2024 year, right? And so some of the questions people always ask, oh, you know, I'm interested in acquiring property. What should I do? First thing you should do is go over your finances and see what your finances look like, because you would need to have your finances in order, which means your credit score. It means you should have some money saved and you should have work history. We would say 2 years or better at a occupation or a facility. And yes, in FHA, you need a credit score of 580 minimum. So, but I don't recommend anybody saying, oh, I have a 580, let me go ahead and do that, because guess what? You still need to have the rest of your financial obligations in order. So the higher your credit score, the better the mortgage options available for you, okay? So pertaining to real estate, contact me for anything that you guys, questions, concerns, interests. But I want to make sure that when you do reach out to me, you are serious about what you're asking me. Don't call me and play around with time, because guess what? Time is, and we know what that means. So next thing I want to talk about is books. My books have been online for 4 years now. To all those who have supported, thank you. I appreciate it. However, you have still missed an important part, which was the review process. I'm waiting for reviews on these books. I need to get the reviews so I can, for one, expand my platform, right? Expand the books who these books go to, and also understand how strong the books are. So make sure you guys leave reviews. You can leave them on Goodreads. You can leave them on Amazon.com. You can even email me how you feel if you don't even know how to use those. Just send me an email and I'll be able to at least still understand how the book impacted you, the purpose of the book, what, did you understand the purpose of the book, and so forth, right? And you can find my books on Amazon, like I said, or you can contact me, Hase Trek, for the books. And also, expect another book dropping soon. I've been holding on to my fourth book, The 10 Dad Commandments, which is a prerequisite or a manuscript talking about fatherhood, right? Any father could use this. Any race, creed, religion, whatever, you can use this book. This is a book that just gives great feedback and viewpoints on fatherhood. Being a father of 2 sons, it has been something that I've really been centered around, making sure I do certain things in order to be an effective father, but also to be a supportive father to my 2 seeds, correct? And last but not least is mentoring. I've been mentoring lately with a group in Newark, giving back to the high schools, which has been extremely rewarding. I feel very good to be connected to the youth in this essence in a positive manner, right? I had a kid today ask us an important question about friends, because we've been talking about friends. One of my favorite stories I tell kids about friends is the Michelangelo story of how when Michelangelo was young, he was 13 years old, he wanted to be an artist, a painter, and he was able to get the opportunity because a friend was able to bring him to the master painter and sculptor in the town, right? And so his best friend got him there, right? And at first, the master painter and sculptor did not agree with Michelangelo. He thought he was too frail. He thought his hand wasn't steady enough. He looked too weak for him. He judged him in all types of ways, right? And eventually, he come to find out that Michelangelo wasn't who he perceived him to be. He was actually, right? But the moral of the story was this. This was the twist in the story, is that Michelangelo had received the print, right, that he knew the master painter would give to everybody who was to try out to be an apprentice for him. He received those prints from his best friend 3 years prior. So he had 3 years to work on that. So by the time he went there, he had like a cheat sheet. His friend helped him out to get to where he wanted to be. So I think that is one of the greatest stories that I always tell the youth about picking your friends and making sure your friends have your best interests. If they know what you're doing, they should be supporting that thing, which is a positive thing, not the negative thing, the positive thing. And so a kid asked us today in regard to him being in the middle of 2 groups and him having an association and a likeness for both groups and being respected in both groups, but the groups have tension between each other. And I found that, you know, it was a deeper life lesson for him, because I was like, that's how life goes. Like, you know, unfortunately, you can try to play peacemaker, which may work in your favor, but you have to also be aware and okay with the fact that it may not work out for either one of them. They might not want to get along with each other. They might not want to piece it up. But at that point, you still have an obligation, to preserve yourself, because you don't want to be a casualty of the circumstances, right? Like, that's the worst thing you could put yourself in, try to be a middleman. And if the middleman aspect don't work, then guess what? If they see you with them, they might want to react to you on that side, or vice versa. So I think that was a great question that I got from one of the students today, right? Decision making, picking friends, associating with groups, because as you know, what they say, if you're around 5 people, if you're the 6th one, you'll be the 6th version of that person. So if they're losers, you will be the 6th loser. If they're winners, you'll be the 6th winner. So I think that's important for the youth to know. I'm getting back into speaking engagements. So all of those individuals, mentor groups, schools, nonprofits, grassroots organizations, if you guys need a speaker to speak at your events, to your kids, to your staff, whatsoever, contact me. HT, Hase Trek, the Trek Dominion is in the building and ready to get it in for 2024. I look forward to connecting with all y'all more. Make sure you follow me, like, share, all of those good things, because this year we getting it in, right? And more importantly, you know what I'm gonna tell y'all, right? Stay chiseled. Peace.